Pippin's Righteous Feast. Pippin, a small penguin with a heart full of compassion, lived in an icy Antarctic colony. Winter was harsh, and food became scarce. Many of his friends, once strong and agile, grew weak, their feathers ruffled by hunger, making it almost impossible for them to dive for fish. A deep ache settled in Pippin's chest as he watched them shiver, their bellies empty. He knew he had enough stored fish to last him, but the thought of his friends suffering while he had plenty felt profoundly wrong. A quiet voice, a whisper of righteousness, stirred within him, urging him to act. Ignoring the common instinct to hoard, Pippin began to share. He would waddle over to the weakest penguins, offering them his hard-earned fish, his small flippers gently nudging the food towards them. At first, they looked at him with surprise, then with immense gratitude. His act of kindness was a beacon in the biting cold. Others in the colony, observing Pippin's selfless generosity, started to feel a stir in their own hearts. They saw the joy on the faces of the fed penguins and the quiet satisfaction radiating from Pippin. One by one, more penguins began to share their catches. A young penguin named Pip, who had initially struggled to keep himself fed, found new strength and, in turn, shared a small portion of his first successful catch with an even smaller, hungrier chick. The sharing wasn't always easy. Sometimes, Pippin felt a pang of hunger himself after giving away a large fish, but the warmth in his heart from helping always outweighed the emptiness in his stomach. He understood that true nourishment came from more than just food. As word spread and more penguins embraced the spirit of generosity, a remarkable transformation occurred. The colony, once gripped by individual struggle, began to operate as a united family. The strong helped the weak, and everyone contributed what they could. The elders of the colony, wise and observant, watched with approval. They spoke of how Pippin's actions had rekindled the true spirit of their community, reminding everyone that their strength lay in their unity and compassion. No longer did any penguin go hungry for long. The shared efforts meant more fish were caught overall, and a system of communal sharing ensured that even the smallest and weakest received their portion. The icy winds still blew, but the warmth of their collective heart grew stronger. Pippin, witnessing the thriving colony, felt a joy he had never known. His desire to do what was right, to alleviate suffering, had led to a blessing far greater than he could have imagined, a community filled with love and purpose. He learned that true righteousness wasn't just about following rules, but about a deep, internal hunger and thirst for justice and goodness for all. When he sought to fill the needs of others, his own spirit was abundantly filled. The phrase, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled," resonated deeply within him. He understood it not as a distant ideal, but as a living truth he had experienced with his own flippers and heart. His small act had sparked a revolution of kindness, proving that even in the harshest environments, compassion could flourish and transform a community. And so, Pippin the penguin, once just one among many, became a quiet legend, not for his strength in catching fish, but for the immense strength of his kind and righteous heart. His legacy was not just the full bellies of his friends, but the full hearts of every penguin in the colony, who now knew the profound joy of giving and receiving in equal measure. Pippin continued his days, swimming and fishing, but now with a profound sense of purpose. Every splash he made seemed to echo the ripple effect of his initial act of kindness. The younger penguins looked up to him, not with awe for his hunting prowess, but with respect for his unwavering goodness. They learned from his example, internalizing the lesson that true strength lies in compassion. Pip, the young penguin Pippin had first helped, grew into a strong and generous adult. He often recounted the story of Pippin's early actions, ensuring the lesson of righteousness was passed down through generations. The colony flourished, its population healthy and spirits high, a stark contrast to the difficult winters of the past. The communal sharing became a cherished tradition, a testament to Pippin's initial bravery. Even when fish were abundant, The penguins remembered the lean times and continued to share. They understood that prosperity was best enjoyed when shared, and vulnerability was overcome through collective support. Pippin, now an elder, would often sit on the icy shore, watching the younger penguins play and share their food. A peaceful smile would spread across his beak, a quiet reflection of a life well lived and a purpose fulfilled. He sometimes thought of that first winter, the chill in the air, the hunger in his friend's eyes, and the little voice inside him that urged him to do good. How different things were now. The colony song, a chorus of squawks and clicks, seemed to carry a new melody, funny one of gratitude, unity, and shared blessings. It was a testament to the power of one penguin's righteous heart. Pippin's story became a cherished tale, told around warm huddles on cold nights. It wasn't a tale of a fierce hunter or a grand adventurer, but of a quiet hero who changed lives with simple, profound kindness. His example taught them that a desire for good, for fairness, for helping those who struggle is a powerful force. It is a force that can overcome hardship and build a thriving community. They learned that when your heart aches for justice, and you act on that desire, blessings, both seen and unseen, will surely follow, filling your life with meaning and joy. Pippin's legacy was etched not in monuments of ice, but in the enduring spirit of his community, 30 spirit of sharing, caring, and an unwavering commitment to what is right. And so, in the vast white expanse of Antarctica, the story of Pippin and his righteous feast continued to inspire. A beacon of hope and a reminder that true fulfillment comes from a heart dedicated to goodness. He lived a life that echoed the profound truth: "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled." Filled with purpose, with joy, and with the love of a grateful community. The colony thrived, not just surviving the harsh winters, but flourishing with a vibrant spirit, all because one small penguin dared to listen to the call of his righteous heart. Pippin's tale serves as a timeless reminder. A single act of selflessness, driven by a pure desire for justice and goodness, can inspire a multitude and transform a world, one kind gesture at a time.
Deep in a sunny wetland lived Millie the mosquito. She had a kind heart, and tried her best not to bother the other animals. Millie didn't want to be a pest, but her constant buzzing to find food often made her unpopular among her neighbors. One bright morning, as Millie was searching for her breakfast, she accidentally bumped into Toby the toad. Toby, startled and annoyed, got very angry. He splashed muddy water all over Millie's delicate wings. "Go away, Millie. Everyone's tired of your buzzing," Toby croaked loudly, making Millie feel very small and sad. Heartbroken, Millie flew home, her tiny body heavy with upset. She couldn't believe how mean Toby had been. She found her wise grandmother and tearfully recounted the morning's encounter. Her grandmother listened patiently, then gently said, "Jesus teaches us to forgive, even when it's hard. Forgiveness sets your heart free, Millie." Millie thought about her grandmother's words, though her heart still ached from Toby's unkindness. Later that same day, Toby was enthusiastically chasing a particularly tasty-looking fly near the edge of the pond. He wasn't watching where he was going, and suddenly he slipped. With a loud splash, he fell into a thick, tangled patch of reeds. The reeds were deep and mucky, and Toby couldn't climb out. He croaked loudly, "Help! Help me, please." He called and called, but no one seemed to hear him. All the other animals were busy with their own day. No one came, except for Millie. She had been flying nearby, still feeling a little down, when she heard Toby's cries. Despite how Toby had treated her earlier, Millie knew she had to help. She remembered her grandmother's words. With her tiny wings, she began to buzz loudly, circling above the reeds, where Toby was stuck. She buzzed with all her might. Her buzzing grew louder and louder, a persistent hum that finally caught the attention of a family of ducks swimming nearby. The ducks, curious about the commotion, waddled over to investigate. They saw Toby struggling in the reeds. With their strong beaks and feet, the ducks carefully helped pull Toby out of the sticky, tangled mess. Toby was muddy and shaken, but safe. He looked at Millie, his head bowed low in shame. "I am so very sorry, Millie," he croaked, his voice barely a whisper. "I treated you badly earlier, and you still came to my rescue." Millie smiled softly, a gentle warmth spreading through her. "I forgive you, Toby," she said kindly. "Jesus forgave me too, so I want to do the same for others. It feels much better to forgive than to hold on to anger." Toby felt a great relief wash over him. He realized the power of Millie's forgiveness and her kindness. From that day forward, Toby became Millie's most loyal friend and defender. Whenever other animals complained about Millie's buzzing, Toby would speak up for her. He would remind them, "Every own deserves patience and kindness, even if they are different from us." Millie's gentle forgiveness changed, not only Toby's heart, but also the way the wetland animals viewed her. They began to understand that judging someone by their noise or size wasn't fair, and that true character shines through actions. Millie continued to buzz, but now with the respect and understanding of her friends. Benny, a small, fluffy white bunny, loved hopping through Mrs. Gable's garden. It was his favorite place to explore, filled with fragrant flowers and delicious berry bushes. Every morning, Benny would twitch his long ears, his bright blue eyes taking in the beauty around him, head nibble on sweet clover, and watch the busy garden life. The garden was usually a place of peace and joy, where birds chirped happy tunes and squirrels playfully chased each other up trees. But one sunny afternoon, a new sound filled the air. Not the happy chirps, but loud squawking and chattering. Benny, startled, paused his hopping. He hopped closer to investigate and saw a bustling commotion around the largest berry bush. A robin and a squirrel were in a heated argument. The robin, a lively bird with a bright red breast, puffed out its feathers, squawking, "These berries are mine."
"These berries are mine. I saw them first."
The bushy-tailed gray squirrel, usually so playful, chattered angrily.
"No, they're not. I buried my nuts near here. This bush belongs to me."
Other birds and squirrels joined in, picking sides. Soon, the entire garden was filled with their noisy bickering. No one could enjoy the beautiful berries or the peaceful shade. Benny watched, his ears drooping slightly. The once joyful garden now felt tense and unpleasant. The sweet scent of berries was overshadowed by the sour mood. He saw a little butterfly try to land on a berry, but it was scared away by a sudden loud squawk. Even the gentle breeze seemed to carry the tension. Benny knew something had to be done. He thought about how much he loved the garden when everyone was happy and friendly. With a deep breath, Benny hopped right into the middle of the quarreling crowd. He sat down, his small white form a stark contrast to the agitated animals. "Excuse me," Benny said in a soft, clear voice, his blue eyes looking at the robin, then the squirrel. "What is all this fuss about?" The robin huffed. "Hes trying to take all the berries. They're for my fledglings." The squirrel twitched its nose, and Hes hogging the best branches. "I need them for my winter stash." Benny listened patiently, his long ears tilted. He understood that both of them had valid reasons for wanting the berries. A warm smile spread across Benny's face. He thought for a moment, then suggested, "Why don't we share?" The robin stopped squawking. The squirrel stopped chattering. They looked at Benny, surprised. "There are enough berries for everyone," Benny explained, gesturing with a paw towards the abundant bush. "And enough branches, too. We can take turns," he continued. "You, Mr. Robin, can gather berries from the top branches today. And you, Mr. Squirrel, can gather from the lower branches. Tomorrow," Benny added, "you can switch. This way, everyone gets what they need, and no one has to argue." The robin cocked its head, considering. The squirrel twitched its tail, pondering Benny's words. Slowly, a hush fell over the garden. The other animals, who had been listening, started nodding their heads. "That's actually a good idea," chirped a small blue bird from a nearby tree. "Yes, sharing is fair," chattered another squirrel, finally able to think clearly without the noise. The robin looked at the squirrel, and the squirrel looked back. A flicker of understanding passed between them. "All right, Benny," the robin finally agreed, its feathers relaxing. "That sounds much better than fighting." "Indeed," the squirrel added, no longer baring its teeth. "Thank you, Benny. You've made sense of this mess." Soon, the garden became peaceful again. The robin sang a happy tune as it picked berries, and the squirrel busily gathered its share, chattering contentedly. Everyone thanked Benny for his quick thinking and gentle reminder. The garden was once again filled with joy, unity, and the sweet scent of harmony. Benny, with his heart full, hopped through the now tranquil garden. He knew that being a peacemaker brought joy not just to others, but to himself too. And so, Benny's garden adventures taught everyone that peacemakers bring joy, unity, and God's love wherever they go, making the world a brighter, happier place. Benny, a small, fluffy white bunny, loved hopping through Mrs. Gable's garden. It was his favorite place to explore, filled with fragrant flowers and delicious berry bushes. Every morning, Benny would twitch his long ears, his bright blue eyes taking in the beauty around him, head nibble on sweet clover, and watch the busy garden life. The garden was usually a place of peace and joy, where birds chirped happy tunes and squirrels playfully chased each other up trees. But one sunny afternoon, a new sound filled the air. Not the happy chirps, but loud squawking and chattering. Benny, startled, paused his hopping. He hopped closer to investigate and saw a bustling commotion around the largest berry bush. A robin and a squirrel were in a heated argument. The robin, a lively bird with a bright red breast, puffed out its feathers, squawking, "These berries are mine."
These berries are mine. I saw them first.
The bushy-tailed gray squirrel, usually so playful, chattered angrily.
No, they're not. I buried my nuts near here. This bush belongs to me.
Other birds and squirrels joined in, picking sides. Soon, the entire garden was filled with their noisy bickering. No one could enjoy the beautiful berries or the peaceful shade. Benny watched, his ears drooping slightly. The once joyful garden now felt tense and unpleasant. The sweet scent of berries was overshadowed by the sour mood. He saw a little butterfly try to land on a berry, but it was scared away by a sudden loud squawk. Even the gentle breeze seemed to carry the tension. Benny knew something had to be done. He thought about how much he loved the garden when everyone was happy and friendly. With a deep breath, Benny hopped right into the middle of the quarreling crowd. He sat down, his small white form a stark contrast to the agitated animals. "Excuse me," Benny said in a soft, clear voice, his blue eyes looking at the robin, then the squirrel. "What is all this fuss about?" The robin huffed. "Hes trying to take all the berries. They're for my fledglings." The squirrel twitched its nose, and Hes hogging the best branches. "I need them for my winter stash." Benny listened patiently, his long ears tilted. He understood that both of them had valid reasons for wanting the berries. A warm smile spread across Benny's face. He thought for a moment, then suggested, "Why don't we share?" The robin stopped squawking. The squirrel stopped chattering. They looked at Benny, surprised. "There are enough berries for everyone," Benny explained, gesturing with a paw towards the abundant bush. "And enough branches, too. We can take turns," he continued. "You, Mr. Robin, can gather berries from the top branches today. And you, Mr. Squirrel, can gather from the lower branches. Tomorrow," Benny added, "you can switch. This way, everyone gets what they need, and no one has to argue." The robin cocked its head, considering. The squirrel twitched its tail, pondering Benny's words. Slowly, a hush fell over the garden. The other animals, who had been listening, started nodding their heads. "That's actually a good idea," chirped a small blue bird from a nearby tree. "Yes, sharing is fair," chattered another squirrel, finally able to think clearly without the noise. The robin looked at the squirrel, and the squirrel looked back. A flicker of understanding passed between them. "All right, Benny." The robin finally agreed, its feathers relaxing. "That sounds much better than fighting." Indeed, the squirrel added, no longer baring its teeth. "Thank you, Benny. You've made sense of this mess." Soon, the garden became peaceful again. The robin sang a happy tune as it picked berries, and the squirrel busily gathered its share, chattering contentedly. Everyone thanked Benny for his quick thinking and gentle reminder. The garden was once again filled with joy, unity, and the sweet scent of harmony. Benny, with his heart full, hopped through the now tranquil garden. He knew that being a peacemaker brought joy not just to others, but to himself too. And so, Benny's garden adventures taught everyone that peacemakers bring joy, unity, and God's love wherever they go, making the world a brighter, happier place. On a quiet sandy beach, where the sun always shone, and the waves whispered secrets, lived a little crab named Crabby Carl. Carl was well known, but not for his sunny disposition. He was famous for snapping his claws at anyone who dared to come too close. He wasn't truly mean. Carl was just a very cautious crab, easily startled, and quick to feel annoyed by interruptions. His snappy behavior meant that most creatures on the beach kept a wide berth, leaving Carl to his solitary routines. One particularly warm afternoon, as the tide began to recede, Carl found himself in a precarious situation. He had ventured a little too far, exploring a new cluster of rocks, and now the water was disappearing fast. Suddenly, a small, oddly shaped rock shifted, and Carl's leg got wedged tightly between it and a larger, unmovable boulder. He wiggled and pulled, pushing with all his might, but the rock held him fast. Panic began to bubble inside his shell. The sun beat down, and Carl grew increasingly desperate, his usual snappy demeanor replaced by genuine fear. He tried again, straining every muscle, but it was no use. He was well and truly stuck. Just then, a shadow fell over him. A passing seagull, with bright white feathers and an inquisitive gaze, landed nearby. It was Sunny, a kind-hearted seagull known for her gentle nature and keen eyesight. Sunny tilted her head, observing Carl's struggle. "Do you need help?" she chirped, her voice surprisingly soft. Carl, embarrassed and vulnerable, hesitated. His usual instinct was to snap and shoo her away. But the pain and fear were overwhelming. He took a deep breath, and in a quiet voice muttered, "Yes, please." Sunny nodded, understandingly. Without a word, she carefully approached the trapped crab. Using her strong beak, Sunny gently nudged and lifted the smaller rock, just enough to create a gap. With a mighty heave, Carl wriggled with all his might, and to his immense relief, he pulled his leg free. He stumbled back, shaking out his relieved limb, and looked up at Sunny, astonished. Someone had helped him, despite his past rudeness. A wave of unfamiliar gratitude washed over Carl. He had expected a scolding, not such gentle assistance. Sunny, seeing Carl was safe, offered a warm smile. "You know," she said, "Jesus teaches us to treat others the way we want to be treated." She continued, "You needed kindness today, Carl, so I gave it. We all need kindness sometimes." Carl looked down at the sand, a strange, soft feeling blossoming inside his usually hardened shell. Her words resonated deeply. He thought about all the times he had snapped and shooed others away, denying them the very kindness he had just received. From that day forward, something fundamental shifted within Crabby Carl. The fear and annoyance that had fueled his snapping began to fade. Whenever a tiny crab cried out for help, caught in a tide pool, Carl no longer turned away or snapped his claws. Instead, he would carefully guide them to safety, using his own strong claws to clear paths. When a slow-moving sea turtle lumbered across his path, Carl patiently waited, sometimes even sharing a delicious morsel of seaweed head found. He began to speak gently, offering advice and sharing his knowledge of the best tide pools and the safest spots. The other beach creatures, at first wary, slowly noticed the change in Carl. They saw his genuine efforts, his new willingness to help and be kind, and they started to call him by a new name. Crabby Carl was no more. He was now known throughout the quiet sandy beach as Kind Carl, the crab who learned to give what he wished to receive.